Hello everyone, today we're going to be talking about the latest episode of The Real Housewives of Miami, which is the first part of this reunion for season 5. But before we do, please don't forget to like and subscribe so that you won't miss any further videos. But let's get right into it. So all the girls are getting ready. They are in New York to film this reunion. They're anxious because they have a lot to talk about. So they are there. Larsa brought her boyfriend, Marcus Jordan, and Lisa also has a boyfriend who's there with her, which that makes me really happy for her. So the reunion set is a recreation of Nicole's engagement party theme. I had to give them credit also because they killed it. All of them were dressed super good. They looked really great. So they started off with a tequila shot. All of them took a tequila shot, which they probably really needed before getting started. So Nicole is asked how can she afford all her luxuries, but she says that her and her husband are just really smart business people that know how to buy things at good prices and sell them at higher prices. Then some sad news for Julia is that Martina was diagnosed with 2 types of cancer at the same time, which is so sad, but you know, she's as optimistic as she can be. Lisa is asked how she's doing. She says that she has good days, bad days, and then really bad days, and they haven't really moved on that much on the divorce, but it looks like it's going to be a pretty big fight because Lenny is like going all in on this, like, you know, divorce battle, legal battle I should say. Then Andy reveals that Lenny was invited to join the reunion and Lisa was okay with it, but he declined. Lisa says that she would have loved for him to give his side of the events, but he didn't want to. They talk a little bit more about Lenny, and she says that she actually caught him in a bathtub with a girl once before the divorce. He doesn't live at the house right now because he's with his other girlfriend at a place together. Then Marysol and Adriana join the couches. They first ask Adriana why did she ask Larsa to go get a BBL with her when she was like, you know, kind of like talking to Larsa about whether she had it done or not or whatever. And she says that honestly she wanted Larsa to finally own it. And then she goes on to say that she's like Brazilian, so she has the right to get a Brazilian butt lift. That was a little bit weird. But then Larsa has the nerve to say that she hasn't had anything done, that it's all natural. But then they show some footage of season 1 and it looks like she's lying. I'll just say that. Then they ask Marysol why is she always drinking, and she says that it's not that big of a deal, that everybody on the cast drinks, and that Nicole probably drinks more than her, which is not true. But speaking of Nicole, they ask her if her dad will walk her down the aisle at her wedding. It surprised me because the therapy at the finale seemed so good that I thought she would say yes, but Nicole says that he's not even able to say sorry to her. Then Larsa jumps at her throat and says that she is being so unfair to her father, that she can't change him, so she might as well just accept it and move on. I agree with the sentiment of that, but I don't like the way that Larsa was saying it, the tone and the attitude. And then Nicole gets very emotional and she says that she understands what everyone's saying, like get over it, like your dad is here, enjoy the time you have with him, but all she can remember is being hit by a car because her dad wasn't paying attention to her. But they are still working on it. She hasn't met the girlfriend. He's 70 years old and the girlfriend's 29. Which, I mean, come on. So then Larsa yet again says that she hates that people always bring up age. She's obviously referring to herself because her boyfriend is 16 years younger than she is. And it actually turns out that the boyfriend is closer to Larsa's son's age than to Larsa's age. Isn't that crazy? So do you guys remember when Alexia screamed at Julia and that she said that she was a star, that she was born like that? Well, Andy brings that up and he asks if everybody in the cast is a narcissist, and Alexia gets very defensive. She says that she has a lot of self-confidence, and I agree that self-confidence is vital, but you don't go around screaming that you have self-confidence, you know what I mean? So then Guerdy jumps in and tells Alexia that she took it further than that by saying that everybody was jealous of her. So Alexia gets angry and says that you yourself called yourself a star not that long ago, and then quickly becomes Guerdy versus Alexia. And then Larsa, who really got the title for the queen of jumping in on things that aren't her business of this reunion, says that what did Alexia do to Guerdy? Like, she needs to explain. So then Guerdy says that Alexia was disrespectful. For example, when Alexia belittled her flowers that Guerdy sent, and Alexia says that it looked like it was planned and staged for her to send those flowers, which, wow, it was just so ridiculous to Guerdy to hear that. It just looked like she was reaching. Why not just say thank you for the flowers and move on? And Guerdy says that she never received a thank you, a sorry, nothing at all from Alexia. But most of all, she feels really bad about the charity that she had and how Alexia compared it to a party. I understand that Alexia was perhaps referencing like the decorations or how it was planned or whatever. But for Guerdy, it was something so meaningful because it had to do with her brother. So she probably just shouldn't have compared it. Like, you can't compare that to a wedding party. You know what I'm saying? Then Alexia screams at her and says that Guerdy is so difficult to work with that she's glad that she didn't handle her wedding. And then this is a pretty low blow. She says that she's not going to treat her bad like she treats Russell bad, which Guerdy didn't really react to that, but I feel like she should have. Then we get to the Russian prostitute comments that Alexia made, because that was extremely stereotypical, perhaps a little prejudiced if you ask me, but she does apologize. Julia accepts it but lets her know that it's not okay. Then Andy asks Alexia if she ever apologized for falsely accusing Adriana and her then boyfriend for being married. It was such a bad look on Alexia. She's then says once again that she's not going to apologize because according to her, he was a paid actor, that Adriana just had him for the show. I like Alexia, but she's looking like a clown right now, just doubling down. And then Adriana posts a receipt, which is text messages that were printed out, where her and Alexia were talking about dating a married man. And Alexia, like very subtly, was kind of encouraging Adriana to date this man, whether or not he was married. Then Alexia, she's starting screaming at Adriana, saying, why don't you talk about the father of your kids? And Andy tells Alexia that viewers have noticed that Alexia doesn't own anything. She doesn't own what she does, and she doesn't apologize. Nicole agrees and says that Alexia expects an apology from everyone, but is never willing to give one. And then guess who jumps in again? Larsa. She was getting so annoying. And she says to Nicole, well, why don't you apologize for judging me? So it's all this rambling, everyone's screaming, and it's just too much. Andy calms everyone down, and then they talk about the lawyer and the credit card thing. After watching, Nicole is surprised because based on how everybody was reacting when they happened, like, you were so rude, she thought it was going to be much worse. But when she actually saw it, it was like, well, that wasn't that bad. They were, making such a big deal about it. And then Alexia then goes into the victim role and says that she's been under attack this entire season simply for having confidence. Then Lisa says a very small, minuscule comment. And Alexia says, well, if you would have had self-confidence, you wouldn't have let Lenny do half of the things that he did to you. Which, that took Lisa aback. I mean, who says that? Like I said, you guys, I liked Alexia, but she is looking so bad this season, which I don't know what's going on with her. But then I remembered Marysol was next to her, so that eggs her on a lot. So maybe that has something to do with it. But as far as part 1, that's all we got. Pretty good. We are going to get 3 parts, so I can't wait for what's to come. But let me know, what are your thoughts on this first part of the reunion? What do you think about Alexia? How do you think she handled herself? And just your overall thoughts. Let me know in the comments, and I'll catch you guys next time. Have a great one. Bye.